Okay, are we gonna start or what, Dig Dug? Here we go. Alright, cool. So, this is my second attempt at streaming this. The first one kind of turned out crappy. Couldn't really hear my audio over the game's audio, so I'm not sure if this is gonna be any better. I'm honestly still just kind of learning the ins and outs of YouTube live streaming. But I'm gonna go ahead and give this game a go, and we'll talk about it. So, Dig Dug, 1982. Totally love this game. One of my favorite arcade games of all time. Kind of similar to several other games at the time you might know of, such as Donkey Kong, in that walking produces the music. Oh shit. Ah, crap. Okay. Grab the carrot. Cool. So one thing I really love about this game is when there's only one enemy left, he tries to run away, which is kind of hilarious, honestly. It's impressive how much character they could put into these old games without hardly even trying. Get in. Yeah. So you'll notice as I go further down, I go slower. Because the deeper you are in the dirt, the slower you move. Grab this onion, and get to this guy before he runs away. Got him. So I'm playing the Arcade Classics version of this. It's on Steam, and also you can get it on Humble Bundle. There's a link in the description to get it from Humble Bundle, which also would include a donation to VGHI, which is fantastic if you take that route. Help us grow and bring video game preservation to Utah. A lot of people ask me, why do you want to do VGHI in Utah? And, well, to be completely honest, there's two reasons. One is I live in Utah and have ties to the community, don't really plan on leaving anytime soon. But the other is that Utah actually has a very interesting history for video games. A lot of people don't know this, but Nolan Bushnell, the founder of Atari, was actually working at the Lagoon Amusement Park in their arcade, and he was attending school at the University of Utah, playing Space War back in the day. And the first coin-op video games, i.e. the first actual commercial video games that ever existed, came about because he looked at the coin mechanism of the arcade machines there at Lagoon and the Space War game he was playing at school and said, hey, how about I connect this thing to that thing and make a new thing? And lo and behold, quarter-operated video games were invented. You know, in a lot of ways, had it not been for that, yeah, if he hadn't actually done that, video games probably wouldn't have taken off. Certainly not when they did, anyway. You know, a lot of people talk about, oh, it's the art, just do it for the art's sake, or if you're an artist, you shouldn't need money. Well, that's ridiculous. Artists need money just as much as anybody else, and just because their work happens to be something that you enjoy versus need doesn't mean that the individual producing it doesn't also have needs. That's the most ridiculous argument I've ever heard. You should just do it for the love of the art. Okay, well, how about I can love the art and also make a living and not have to starve to death. Um, controversial opinions here, I know. So, let's talk more about the game while I'm playing. You might have noticed that we're up to level, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, maybe 9, I think 8. As every level passes, you get another flower up there in the corner. Freak. Okay. Now I'm dead. So yeah, that's Dig Dug. Pretty simple premise. There's the two enemy types. There's the Fraggar and the Puka. The Fraggar are the little dragons, and the Puka is the little red ball with the mask. As you can see, I just got a new high score, and I'm very mature in the names I've given myself in the past. I'm just going to go ahead and put my real initials this time. So yeah, this is a pretty cool version of the game, actually. It really plays and is a lot like the original arcade game. Looking at it, you probably noticed that it's got the vertical lines, and that is actually a option that these arcade classic games have. They have some options in here, so you can go in here and you can change the display several different ways. Obviously, you can adjust the screen and move things around so they're where you want them, but then there's also adjust scan line. So as I press C and V, you see those scan lines come in and out of focus. So that's pretty cool. Really feels like the old arcade when you have the scan lines. Then, let's see. I wonder... Game settings cannot be changed while a game is in progress. Okay, cool. Let's go back to the game. Let's reset the game. Yeah, that'll work. Okay. Let's see if we can change those settings. I wonder if you can, like, give yourself different lives and make the game more difficult. A lot of these old arcade games, there were little switches on the main logic board where you could change settings. And sometimes they have those... Yeah, cool. So, select round. I didn't even know that was a... Not sure if that was an option in the original game or not. You can control the number of lives. Yeah, that's pretty common. A lot of times you get 1, 2, 3, or 5 lives per coin. And it's interesting because they always skip 4 and jump up to 5. And so there's just the 2 dip switches there that you use to control how many lives you have usually. And so you only have 4 options, but sometimes people need a little bit of boost. The game's too hard. Oh, cool. So you can control when you get the extra lives. So here we would get an extra life at 10,000 points and 40,000 points, but not a third extra life. Here's a 10,000 at 40,000 and a 40,000. So I think that it's actually like 10,000, 50,000, and 90,000. But yeah, basically that would that's probably about easy mode, I would assume. Version new, old. Not sure what that is. We'll have to check that out. Oh, cool, you can actually do the test screen. Yeah, a lot of these old games, they had like a test mode that you could turn on where you could test all the sounds and verify that your screen settings were right, because the old monitors that they have, they are finicky and they are old and they need a lot of work and adjustment, and I can tell you it's one of the biggest pains of these old machines is maintaining those. But the nice thing is that the technology, everything's so big that you can actually just get in there with your hands and remove and solder on new components over time, and generally you can maintain these boards and the boards of the monitors pretty well. We're gonna go back to the game and see what old was. See if we can even tell the difference. It looks about like I'd expect. Doesn't look really any different. I'm not sure what the old game version really did to change anything. Wonder if I can change that. No, that was in the game settings. So probably can't change that now. But yeah, I love this game. One of my favorite of all time. One that that we don't have in the collection. Right now, our arcade game collection has Miss Pac-Man, which is awesome, a great game. It has a speed-up chip in it, actually, our game, so it's not the original game, but it's a pretty common one. A lot of people would put the speed-up chip in there once people kind of got sick of the original game, and people would play it some more, so, you know, a way to get people to continue playing. In a lot of ways, that was the origin of modding your games, was these old arcade games. People would develop modification boards so you could add new levels or new difficulty. Ah, dang it. Alright. So yeah, cool. So that is the Arcade Classics version of Dig Dug. Like I said, this is available on Steam. I actually got this version from Humble Bundle, I believe. I think it was a big bundle of different arcade games I had a while back, but you can buy the game right now still from Humble Bundle. It's just $3.99, and if you use the link in the description or select VGHI as your charity on Humble Bundle, you can continue to support us in our mission to preserve video games for future generations. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And yeah, we'll see how this goes.